the last question that will be dealing here is, how do I develop self-esteem?
Yeah. The fact that I didn't deal much with the word self-esteem is that self-love has to do a lot with self-esteem. There's a very interesting Malayalam movie that I watched. It has, I don't know how many Malayalis are there in the house here, but this basically Srinivas is married to this very pretty girl, and then because of which he's always suspicious of his wife. He's always suspicious of this. And one of the things that later on the movie shows is because he hadn't developed a good enough self-esteem of himself, all right, he feels, oh, you know what, my wife doesn't love me. It is coming from a place of lack. And one of the things that self-esteem is very connected to self-love, is because there's a vacuum, and many of the times there's a vacuum in us and we are trying to fill it with some other type of love. The idea of self-esteem is our love tank is filled such that in our relationship with others, it's an overflow of that love rather than trying to fill it with that person. And one of the things that self-esteem has to do, all right, and how do you develop self-esteem? That's a good question. It's always coming to a position that you are accepted for who you are as a person, right? You are loved and you are accepted for who you are, and we have issues with self-esteem always because some incident in our past, maybe I always had a self-esteem issue that I was very thin, whenever I was in school. And it was always what added by the fact a lot of relatives used to come and say, "Ayo, mone, bhayangara melinya mone." And here they used to always say these kind of things, which makes me reinforce the idea, oh, I am like this. But in one sense, what I had is, my brother really liked me, and my parents really liked me, and they never felt me or made me feel that way. And so because I was felt comfortable in that, I was able to come out of it. A way in which we come out of our self-esteem is to have those kind of networks within us that makes us feel valid. And for me especially, and I guess uh, I can't cut the aspect of God away from this. It is ultimately, I need to feel validated by God. God loves me. I find my self-esteem there. I'm his child. And if that is true, then I can get through anything that is there in the world. One of the things that Mahatma Gandhi understood is Indians in some way lack self-esteem, and they want like a white person, all right, and that's why they were okay with colonization, all right, being colonized, because they wanted validation from a country apart from us. And Gandhi's whole endeavor in his freedom movement is, no, Indians need to be valid or feel valid within themselves, and only when we come to that particular realization can we achieve independence. We don't need an outside force. We need to be able to find that self-esteem within us. And it's something that we always struggle with, individually, collectively, as a nation and as communities. But it's always trying to find our validity from something else. For me, that answer is in God. But for you, you need to find, where do I need to find my absolute validity, my self-esteem, and work from there.